Steven Wilson, the Raven that refused to sing. I've talked about this album a little bit. Mostly I've talked about experiencing Steven Wilson live, but this is just a phenomenal record, and it's time for me to finally do my album review of it, the video. For those of you who follow my reviews at progarchives.com and seaoftranquility.org, I've already written my reviews over there, but for the video review, I'm going to talk about the music, but I also just want to talk about the vinyl packaging, because this is just phenomenal. So, nice gatefold, double LP. Take a quick look at this spinning real quick. Really nice inner labels there. And kind of heavy cardboard inner sleeves. Really just beautiful press, 180 gram vinyl. Just really, really, really well made. So, if you're into vinyl collecting, which I assume most of the people watching my channel are, since I primarily make vinyl-related videos, this is one to absolutely get on vinyl if you can. Oh, I meant to show this real quick. It's the other inner sleeve. This is one to absolutely get on vinyl. It's absolutely worth it. It sounds phenomenal. It's just really, really well packaged, and I don't have any complaints about it whatsoever. I paid $30 for it, which is a little bit more than I usually do on one vinyl record, but absolutely worth it. It's a double LP and everything. But anyway, musically, what we're dealing with here is progressive rock with a strong touch of fusion. If you're listening to this, it's kind of fusion-y. This is the first track, Luminol, and this is like the beginning and the end are instrumental. The middle section has some vocals, but just some tremendous jamming on this track. If you're familiar with the previous Steven Wilson album entitled Grace for Drowning, that one felt really kind of loose and jammy and experimental, and while this has a little bit of that, it feels overall just much tighter and more technical. And while I can't really pick which of the two I prefer, because both are just 10 out of 10s for me, I can't complain about either of them. This is a different record than Grace for Drowning was. I think mostly because on this album, Steven Wilson recruited an entire band. He recruited other musicians, and they're on the entire record, whereas for Grace for Drowning, there were a lot of guest musicians, so it felt a little bit, not less cohesive, but this album definitely feels more band-oriented. And you can just hear what tremendous musicians he selected for this record just by listening to any of the tracks. Particularly Marco Minnemann on the drums. He's my guy. I absolutely love his work, and his drumming is just insane on this album. And I think for me, he's got to be the highlight, but you've also got Guthrie Govan on the guitar, who some of his solos are just completely out of this world on this album. And Nick Beggs on the bass just completely holds everything together. Really, really clever bass lines. Really dig the way he plays. Steven Wilson, of course. Theo Travis on saxophone and flute. I think he might play clarinet on this album. I'm not sure if there's any clarinet. Let me check. There is clarinet. So he handles all the woodwinds, and he does a fantastic job on those. Lots of really, really, really great solos, and I'm a flute guy as well. I love my flute solos, so always love that. And then last but not least, Adam Holzman on the keyboards does some tremendous things, especially with a Fender Rhodes type sound. He uses mostly very retro-oriented sounds on this album. But the compositions are really what puts us into the top tier of progressive rock albums, because, as excellent as the musicianship is, there's something about the songwriting here that just really makes it phenomenal. And I think it's just, each track is very different from the previous one. You've got Luminol, which I've already talked about. The next song, Drive Home, is kind of like a melancholic. It almost sounds like Porcupine Tree. Just very melancholic, kind of ballady type track. Holy Drinker is just this dark, jammy track. Absolutely love that. Pin Drop sounds kind of like, sounds a little Genesis-y to me, but it's only like 5 minutes long. It's the shortest track on here, but it's very, very progressive. Love that one. And Watchmaker begins with an acoustic section, and by the end, it's just really, really dark. And I think the lyrics in that song deal with a guy who kills his wife or something along those lines. And, you know, as expected from Steven Wilson, not the happiest lyrics in the world, but they definitely evoke some tremendous imagery if you're paying attention to them. So, excellent. And then the final song, Raven That Refused to Sing, the title track, is just pure bliss. I can't even articulate what that song is like. It's just, it's hauntingly beautiful, is I guess the only way I could say it. And I mean, that goes through all the songs, but there's so much more to it than that. You know, you discover new little details with each listen. And that's kind of the mark of a fantastic album for me, where, you know, you listen to it once and you pick up on a bunch of things. Then the next time you pick up on a bunch of things, and, you know, 25 listens later, you're still discovering new things. So this album definitely has that, and I really just love this record. I can't complain about it at all. It's probably my favorite 2013 record so far. The new one from Big Big Train, English Electric Part 2, is either, I mean, they're tied for me. They're both 10 out of 10. But this one in particular, I needed to get on here and talk about it, because I know a lot of people on the internet have showed this record already, but I just wanted to drop my 2 cents because it is phenomenal. And if you like progressive rock, you don't have this one, you need to get it, because I have a feeling that it will be one of your favorites from this year. So anyway, Jeff here for Demise of Time. Thanks to everyone for watching. I noticed I got a lot of new subscribers lately. I'm up to 49, I think, so one away from 50. I think if I get to 100, I'll probably do a contest of some sort. So keep an eye out for that. And thank you everyone for watching.